Sometimes silence is the loudest rejection. That line hits hard, doesn't it, my friends? Because we've all felt it, the shift. One moment, they're close, laughing, texting you back in seconds, making you feel like you matter. Then suddenly, like a switch flipped, they turn distant, cold, silent, and you're left in the quiet, overthinking every little thing. Did I say something wrong? Did I lose them? Or worse, are they giving their attention to someone else? Folks, let's pause right here. Before we dive in, do me a favor, press that like button, hit subscribe, and join us here, because what you're about to hear might just change the way you deal with silence forever. Now, hey folks, imagine this with me. You're standing in front of a massive wall, painting on it with bright colors, blue, gold, red, every color you can think of. You're trying to make it beautiful, trying to get the wall to respond somehow, but no matter how many colors you throw, the wall just stays still. No reaction, no echo, just silence. That's what chasing someone who's pulling away feels like. You throw your effort, your time, your heart at them, but the wall doesn't change. And here's the truth nobody told you. It was never supposed to. Because the more you chase, the more the wall reminds you it was never built to answer back. My friends, here's the lie you've been sold, that if you explain harder, love harder, chase harder, they'll come back. But the truth, chasing doesn't bring them closer. It pushes them further away. It kills mystery. It drains respect. It puts all the power in their hands. As the Stoics used to say, what stands in the way becomes the way. And right now, silence is standing in your way. But instead of fighting it, what if you learn to master it? Let me tell you, silence is not your enemy. Silence is your ally. It's the pause that reveals the truth. When someone pulls away and you don't rush in to fill the gap, something powerful happens. They're forced to sit with their own thoughts, their own doubts, their own emotions. And while they're doing that, you're not losing yourself, you're finding yourself. Because real strength isn't in begging for attention, it's in becoming so centered that attention naturally flows toward you. Think of it like fire. If you run after smoke, you get lost, confused, coughing in the dark. But if you sit calmly by your fire, warming your hands, living your life, the smoke eventually clears and people come toward the flame. That's what you are when you stop chasing. Fire. Warm, alive, impossible to ignore. And yes, I know what you're thinking. But what if they forget about me? What if they move on completely? My friends, let me break another lie. If someone can forget you the moment you stop chasing, then they were never truly yours. Love that's real doesn't vanish in silence, it deepens in it. Distance doesn't erase value, it reveals it. So today, I want you to hear me clearly. When they distance themselves, when they ignore you, don't see it as the end. See it as the test. See it as the moment where you get to rise above panic, above fear, above desperation, and step into calm, unshakable strength. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Stay with me, because I'm going to show you exactly how to flip silence into your greatest advantage. But right now, let's start with a simple affirmation. Write this in the comments. I choose peace. 3 words, my friends. Say it out loud. Type it below. Let the world see it. And while you're at it, press that like button and subscribe, because this is just the beginning of a stronger, calmer, and more magnetic you. Number 1, do not chase their silence. The more you chase, the faster they run. My friends, let that sink in for a moment. Because every time someone starts pulling away from you, every instinct inside of you screams to close the gap. You feel that coldness in their voice. You notice their replies getting shorter. You feel their energy shifting. And suddenly your heart races. Panic kicks in. And in that moment, the lie whispers in your ear, if I just reach out one more time, if I just explain myself, if I just make them see how much I care, they'll come back. But you and I both know what happens next. You send the message, you make the call, you pour your heart out, and instead of drawing them back in, you push them even further away. Why? Because chasing never creates closeness. It creates distance. Imagine this with me, folks. You're standing in a field, and in front of you is a wild horse. Beautiful, powerful, mysterious. You want that horse to come closer, so you step toward it. What happens? It backs away. You take another step. It takes 2 steps back. The more you chase, the more it retreats. But if you stand still, calm, present, the horse gets curious. It starts to wonder, why aren't they chasing me? Why aren't they desperate for me to come closer? And slowly, carefully, it begins to step toward you. That, my friends, is human psychology in motion. People value what doesn't beg. They lean into what holds steady, and they're drawn toward what doesn't need them to feel whole. Now I know the fear that runs through your mind in these moments. What if they forget me? What if they find someone else? What if I lose them forever? Fear makes us react. It makes us believe that if we don't act right now, we'll lose everything. But here's the truth you need to hold on to. Chasing doesn't protect you from loss. It guarantees it. Because what you're showing them isn't love or care. It's insecurity. It's panic. It's a silent message that says, my worth depends on you. My peace depends on you. My happiness depends on you. And when someone feels that weight, they don't get closer. They run. As Seneca once said, he who is brave is free. And bravery here doesn't look like sending another text. It looks like holding your silence when everything in you wants to scream. It looks like resisting the urge to beg when your mind is drowning in what-ifs. It looks like standing tall even when the silence feels unbearable. Because real strength is not shown in your pursuit of someone who pulls away. It's shown in your refusal to abandon yourself when they do. Let's break a lie that's been fed to us for too long. The lie that chasing shows commitment, that begging proves loyalty, that persistence wins hearts. My friends, persistence works for goals, for dreams, for building your purpose. But in relationships, when someone pulls away, persistence turns into pressure, and pressure suffocates attraction. The more you explain, the more you justify, the more you try to fix what isn't yours to fix, the more invisible you become. They stop seeing your value, and they start seeing your neediness. Think of it like a flame. If you cup it too tightly, trying to protect it, you smother it. The oxygen disappears, and the fire dies. But if you give it space, if you let it breathe, the flame grows stronger, brighter, harder to ignore. That's exactly how connection works. When they distance themselves and you rush in with desperate energy, you smother the flame. But when you give it space, when you allow silence to do its work, the flame has the chance to grow on its own. And yes, this is hard. Let's not sugarcoat it. It's difficult to stay silent when everything inside you screams to reach out. It's painful to sit with the unknown, to feel the weight of questions without answers. It's uncomfortable to let go of control. But my friends, growth lives in discomfort. Discipline is born in silence. And every moment you resist the urge to chase, you're not just protecting your dignity, you're training your mind to rise above fear. You may ask, but why do they pull away in the first place? Sometimes it's their own fear of intimacy. Sometimes it's their confusion, their chaos, their emotional storm. And sometimes it's a test, conscious or not, to see how you'll respond. If you panic, you fail. If you hold steady, you reveal strength. Remember this, Their distance is not always about you. Don't take responsibility for storms you didn't create. Here's where the shift happens. Instead of pouring energy outward, pour it inward. Every time you feel the urge to text, go for a workout. Every time you want to call, pick up a book or invest in your craft. Every time your mind drifts to their silence, redirect it to your vision. Because here's the beautiful paradox. When you stop chasing them, you start attracting more than just their attention. You attract peace, purpose, and respect. And in the end, whether they return or not, you win. Let me leave you with this picture. Imagine yourself as a lighthouse. The waves crash, the storms rage, ships come and go, but the lighthouse doesn't chase. It doesn't move. It stands tall, shining its light, unshaken. That's you when you stop chasing. Steady, grounded, magnetic. And when they finally look back, they won't see desperation. They'll see strength. So today, make this choice. Write it in the comments right now. I do not chase. Show it to yourself. Show it to the world around you. Let everyone know you're stepping into this new energy. And stay with me, because in the next part, we'll break down how to take that silence and use it to create undeniable presence, the kind that draws them back without a single word. Number 2. Control your emotions before they control you. Rule over your mind, or your mind will rule over you. My friends, this is the battlefield where most people lose. When someone distances themselves, your emotions don't whisper, they scream. They scream panic, they scream doubt, they scream fear. And in those moments, you don't think clearly, you react. You grab your phone, your fingers hover over the keyboard, and before you even realize what you're doing, you've sent that desperate message. Did I do something wrong? Or, why are you ignoring me? And what happens? Silence grows louder. Respect shrinks smaller. Because what you just showed them isn't love, it's weakness. Let's picture this. You're standing in the middle of a storm. The wind is howling, the rain is pounding, lightning cracks across the sky. Now imagine trying to calm that storm by shouting at it. It doesn't work, does it? Your words can't stop the thunder. Your panic can't slow the rain. The more you fight it, the more powerless you feel. But the wise man, the stoic, knows this. You don't control the storm, you control your shelter. You don't stop the lightning, you steady your own steps. And when the storm passes, it's the one who stood firm that remains unshaken. This is what it means to master your emotions when someone pulls away. You can't control their distance, you can't control their silence. But you can control how you respond, and your response is everything. React in fear, and you hand over your power. Stand in calm, and you keep it. Now let's talk about why it feels so hard. Psychology tells us that the human brain craves certainty. When we don't know why someone's ignoring us, our minds go into overdrive, trying to fill in the blanks. Maybe they lost interest. Maybe they're testing me. Maybe they found someone else. That uncertainty feels unbearable, so we reach for control. We send messages, we demand answers, we chase closure. But my friends, here's the hard truth. Closure doesn't come from them, it comes from you. You don't need their response to regain peace. You need discipline over your own emotions. Think of it like fire in your hands. If you panic and hold it recklessly, you get burned. But if you learn to control it, to contain it, that same fire can warm you, guide you, and protect you. Your emotions are no different. Left unchecked, they destroy your dignity. Controlled with strength, they become your fuel. And here's where most fall into the trap. They believe silence is rejection, when often silence is reflection. Sometimes they're pulling back to think, to process, to test your reaction. And if in that space you explode with fear, you confirm their doubts. But if in that space you remain calm, steady, unbothered, you plant a seed in their mind. Maybe they're stronger than I thought. Maybe I can't shake them so easily. Maybe I need to rethink. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." What does that mean for you right now? It means when they ignore you, you don't spiral into overthinking. You don't sit there refreshing your phone like a prisoner waiting for a message. You take that restless energy and you channel it into your workout, into your purpose, into your vision, because nothing speaks louder than silence paired with growth. So the next time your heart pounds with fear and your fingers itch to type out a desperate text, stop. Breathe. Remind yourself, their silence cannot control me. Only I control me. And with that thought, put the phone down. Pick yourself up. Step into something productive, something that sharpens you instead of weakens you. Because every time you choose control over reaction, you're training your mind to rise above panic. My friends, this is not easy. Nobody said it would be. But it's in the difficulty that your strength is forged. It's in the silence that your power is tested. And if you can master yourself in these moments, you will never again be a prisoner to someone else's distance. So, write this in the comments right now. I control me. Show it to yourself. Show it to the world around you, and let it remind you that your emotions bow to you, not the other way around. And stay with me, because next we're going to talk about something even more powerful, the law of absence. The truth that what you take away from them has more impact than what you give. Number 3, the power of absence. People don't notice the noise you make. They notice the silence you leave behind. My friend's absence has a weight that presence sometimes doesn't. When someone distances themselves from you, the natural reaction is to close the gap, to keep pouring energy into the connection so it doesn't slip away. But here's the paradox. The more energy you throw at them, the less they value it. It's only when that energy disappears, when you take it back, that they begin to feel what was once theirs. Imagine a world where the sun never sets. Always bright, always there, never-ending light. At first, you'd love it, but soon you'd take it for granted. You wouldn't appreciate the warmth because you'd never feel the absence of darkness. But when the sun sets and the world grows cold, that's when you start longing for the light again. That's the psychology of absence. When you stop giving your energy freely, you create space for them to feel what life is like without it. And let's be real, right now your fear tells you, if I stop reaching out, they'll forget me. If I pull back, I'll lose them forever. That's the fear talking. That's the lie. The truth is, what you withhold becomes more powerful than what you give. People notice when something they're used to having suddenly isn't there. They notice when your attention, once easy, once constant, becomes rare. And rarity, my friends, is valuable. Think of water. If you live next to a flowing river, you stop noticing its beauty. But put yourself in the desert, where water is scarce, and suddenly every drop is priceless. Your attention works the same way. When you're always there, always available, always chasing, they stop valuing it. But when you step back, when you allow absence to do its quiet work, they begin to realize, wait, where did that energy go? Why aren't they reaching out? Have I lost something valuable? This is the law of reverse attention. People don't always value what they have in abundance, but they do feel the sting when it's gone. And here's the beauty. By pulling back, you're not punishing them. You're protecting yourself. You're reminding both them and yourself that your energy is not something to be wasted. It's something to be earned. Let's break another lie. The lie that constant attention proves love. It doesn't. Constant attention proves fear. Fear of loss, fear of rejection, fear of being alone. True love doesn't need to smother. It breathes. It gives space. It allows the other person to miss you. And yes, that means having the discipline to hold back when everything inside you wants to flood them with your presence. Think of music. It's not just the notes that make it beautiful, it's the pauses between them. Silence creates rhythm, and rhythm creates meaning. If you take away the pauses, the music becomes noise. The same applies to relationships. Your silence is the pause that gives your presence rhythm. Without it, your presence becomes noise, always there, always predictable, always taken for granted. Now, this doesn't mean you play games or vanish out of spite. It means you hold your ground. You stop over-investing in someone who isn't meeting you halfway. You redirect that energy inward to your goals, your passions, your growth. And here's the irony, they will feel it. Even if they don't admit it, they will feel the shift. They'll wonder where your energy went. They'll ask themselves why your presence no longer surrounds them. And in that wondering, they'll begin to miss what they once overlooked. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When you let your thoughts revolve around their absence, you stain yourself with fear. But when you shift your focus inward, when you pour your color into your own life, you create a light that others can't ignore. Your absence from them becomes their teacher, and your presence in your own life becomes your freedom. So, my friends, the next time you feel the urge to chase, remind yourself of this. Your absence is not weakness, it's power. It's not the end, it's the reset. And when used wisely, it can make someone reevaluate everything they thought they knew about you. Write this in the comments right now. My absence has power. Let it echo in your mind. Let it show to the world around you. And let it remind you that sometimes silence is the loudest message you'll ever send. And stay with me, because next we're going to tear down one of the biggest illusions of all, the belief that their distance is always about you. Number 4, break the lie that it's always about you. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Seneca's words, my friends, cut right to the heart of what happens when someone pulls away. Because the truth is, when they go silent, when they start ignoring you, your mind instantly becomes your worst enemy. It begins crafting stories, stories that tell you you're not good enough, stories that tell you they've found someone better, stories that whisper, you must have done something wrong. But here's the reality. Their silence is not always about you, and if you don't learn this truth, you'll carry a weight that was never yours to bear. Imagine standing in front of a mirror that's been cracked. You look into it and see your reflection, but the cracks distort your face. You start thinking something's wrong with you. Your nose looks bent, your eyes don't line up, your smile looks crooked. But in reality, nothing's wrong with your face. It's the mirror that's broken. That's what it's like when you believe their silence is your fault. You're looking at yourself through the cracks of their confusion, their fear, their insecurities. And the more you believe that distorted image, the further you drift from your true self. My friends, let's break the biggest lie you've been told, that their behavior is a direct reflection of your worth. It's not. People pull away for reasons that live inside of them, their past wounds, their fear of commitment, their uncertainty about life, their emotional storms. Sometimes their silence has nothing to do with what you said or did, and everything to do with what they're battling in their own minds. But because we crave certainty, we fill the silence with blame. And that blame always lands on us. And I know the questions that eat you alive in those moments. Did I text too much? Did I come on too strong? Should I have done things differently? It's like walking into a room with the lights off. You trip over everything, thinking you caused the mess, when really, it's just the darkness you're standing in. Let me be clear, accountability is important. If you made mistakes, own them. But don't take responsibility for storms you didn't cause. Their distance doesn't automatically mean you failed. It often means they're lost in their own chaos. As Marcus Aurelius said, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. And here's the truth. You are not responsible for carrying the burden of someone else's silence. Think of it like weather. One day it's sunny, the next it's storming. When the clouds roll in and the rain pours, you don't say, "It must be my fault. I caused this storm." You simply understand. It's weather. It will pass. The same goes for people. Sometimes their mood, their silence, their withdrawal is nothing more than emotional weather. It's not about you. It's about the clouds inside them. And the worst thing you can do is believe you're the reason for their storm. But I get it. It's hard not to. Because when they pull back, it feels personal. It feels like rejection, abandonment, betrayal. And your fear tells you, if I can just figure out what I did wrong, I can fix it. But the truth is, not everything can be fixed, and not everything needs fixing. Sometimes the most powerful move is to let their silence belong to them, to refuse to carry guilt for something you didn't create. Let me tell you a secret about strength. True strength is not trying to hold up everyone else's brokenness. True strength is standing tall, even when others can't meet you there. It's saying, I will not shrink myself to fit inside your confusion. Because when you believe their silence defines you, you give away your power. But when you remind yourself, their storm is not my burden, you rise above it. And yes, this is difficult. It's hard to watch someone you care about distance themselves and not take it personally. But every time you choose not to internalize their silence, you reclaim a piece of yourself. You stop bleeding for wounds that aren't yours. You stop carrying mirrors that were cracked long before you arrived. So, my friends, hear me clearly. Their distance is not a reflection of your worth. Your value doesn't vanish because someone else can't see it. Diamonds don't stop being diamonds just because someone walks past them without noticing. The value remains, the worth remains, and so do you. Write this in the comments right now. Their silence is not my burden. Show it to yourself, show it to the world around you, and let it remind you that you are not defined by someone else's withdrawal. And stay with me, because next, we're going to take this even further. We'll talk about how to shift your focus inward, and how turning your energy back to yourself transforms not just how they see you, but how you see yourself. Number 5. Shift focus inward. When you turn inward, you discover a world no one can take from you. My friends, here's the truth most people never realize. The moment someone pulls away, you have a choice. You can pour all your energy outward, chasing after their attention, trying to solve their silence. Or you can pour that energy inward, building yourself into someone so strong, so centered, so magnetic, that whether they return or not, you come out winning. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine holding a bucket with a hole at the bottom. You keep pouring water in, again and again. But no matter how much you give, it just drains away. That's what it feels like when you keep giving energy to someone who's pulling away. You're emptying yourself, but nothing is being held. Now imagine instead taking that same water and pouring it into your own garden. Every drop you invest grows flowers, fruits, and shade that you can enjoy for a lifetime. That's the power of redirecting energy back into yourself. And yes, I know what your mind screams in those moments of silence. But if I don't chase them, if I don't remind them I care, won't they forget about me? Won't they think I don't love them? That's the fear talking. The truth is, love isn't proven by begging, it's proven by presence, and the most important presence you can ever cultivate is the one inside yourself. Because when you're grounded, when you're growing, when you're focused on your life, that energy radiates outward in a way no desperate message ever could. Think of a tree. If the roots are deep, the storms can come, the winds can howl, but the tree stands firm. If the roots are shallow, even the smallest storm topples it. Shifting focus inward is how you grow your roots. It's how you anchor yourself so deeply that no silence, no distance, no rejection can uproot you. Now let's break another lie. The lie that your peace depends on their presence. It doesn't. Your peace depends on your discipline. Your happiness depends on your habits. Your strength depends on where you place your focus. If you spend your days staring at a phone waiting for their reply, you'll drown in their absence. But if you spend your days sharpening yourself, your health, your craft, your goals, you rise above their silence. You stop waiting and you start living. My friends, this is why the Stoics spoke so often about self-mastery. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Stop debating whether they see your worth and start building it within yourself. Stop obsessing over why they pulled away and start investing in what makes you unshakable." And here's the paradox. When you stop giving them your energy and start pouring it into yourself, they feel it. They may not say it, but they feel it. That shift unsettles them. They wonder why your attention is no longer orbiting around them. They start asking themselves, wait, did I lose something valuable? Did I underestimate them? Have they moved on without me? That's the power of absence combined with self-growth. It flips the entire dynamic without you saying a single word. But let's keep it real. This is not easy. In fact, it might be one of the hardest things you'll ever do. It takes discipline to hold back when your heart is aching. It takes courage to put down the phone and pick up the weights. It takes strength to redirect your mind when it wants to spiral into what-ifs. But remember, every moment you choose growth over chasing, you're training yourself to become untouchable. So how do you shift focus inward? Start with your body, move it, strengthen it, fuel it. Then your mind, feed it with knowledge, discipline it with meditation, sharpen it with purpose. And your spirit, surround it with people who lift you, with passions that excite you, with silence that heals you. Because when you fill yourself in these ways, you stop needing them to fill you. And here's the motivation you need to hold on to. Every time you focus inward, you're not just surviving their silence, you're transforming through it. You're becoming the kind of person who doesn't just attract people, but inspires them. And whether they return or not, you'll have built a life so rich, so full, so powerful that their presence is no longer your source of strength. You are. So write this in the comments right now. I choose myself. Say it, show it, let the world see it. Because when you shift focus inward, you reclaim every ounce of power you once gave away. And stay with me, because next we're going to talk about something that takes this even further. How reinvention in their absence doesn't just heal you, but makes you unforgettable. Number 6. Reinvention is magnetic. The best revenge is massive success. Napoleon Hill's words, my friends, ring louder when someone distances themselves from you. Because here's the truth. While most people waste their time waiting by the phone, staring at empty messages, drowning in what went wrong, the strongest ones do something different. They use that silence as fuel. They take the pain, the confusion, the rejection, and they turn it into transformation. They reinvent themselves. And when you reinvent yourself in their absence, you don't just heal, you become magnetic. Picture this. A snake sheds its skin not because it wants to, but because it has to. Growth demands it. If the snake clings to old skin, it suffocates. My friends, silence is your signal to shed. When they step back, when they ignore you, that's your moment to strip away the old version of yourself, the one that chased, begged, over-explained, and to step into a version so sharp, so refined, so elevated that even you barely recognize it. And here's the irony. Nothing shakes someone more than realizing the person they pulled away from has become someone they can't reach anymore. But let's be honest. Right now, your mind might resist. It whispers, "Why should I change? Why should I improve myself because they ignored me? Shouldn't they be the one to change?" And that's where you have to rise above ego, because this reinvention isn't about them, it's about you. You're not upgrading to win them back. You're upgrading to make sure you never again sit in silence feeling powerless. Reinvention is your declaration to the world. I will never be broken by distance. I will use it to rise. Think of a man who loses his job. He could sit in his apartment, drowning in bitterness, waiting for the phone to ring. Or he could use that loss as a turning point, learn new skills, build a business, transform his health. Months later, when people see him again, they don't see the man who was let go. They see someone reborn. That's what happens when you reinvent yourself after being ignored. Their absence becomes your reset button. And let's break the lie right now. The lie that says waiting proves loyalty. It doesn't. Waiting proves dependency. Growth proves value. You don't honor someone by putting your life on pause for them. You honor yourself by building a life so rich, so powerful, so magnetic, that no silence can stop your momentum. Think of steel. It doesn't become strong sitting idle. It becomes strong through fire, through pressure, through reshaping. That's exactly what you're walking through now. Their silence is your fire. Their absence is your pressure. And your reinvention is the steel that emerges, unbreakable, unstoppable, undeniable. And my friends, here's the beauty. Reinvention is contagious. When you level up, people notice. Even those who swore they didn't care, even those who thought they had the upper hand, they notice. They see your body changing, your confidence rising, your lifestyle upgrading, and inside they start to question themselves. Did I misjudge them? Did I let go of someone who's now out of my reach? That's the psychological twist. You don't chase them with words, you chase them with growth. You don't beg for respect. You command it by becoming someone worth respecting. Yes, it's hard. Reinvention takes discipline. It means dragging yourself to the gym when your heart feels heavy. It means waking up early to build your craft instead of scrolling through old messages. It means putting your energy into new friendships, new projects, new passions, instead of obsessing over why they went silent. But every small change compounds. Every upgrade you make becomes a mirror they can't avoid, and sooner or later they'll see it. Even if they never say a word, they'll feel the distance. Not the distance they created, but the distance your growth has created between who you were and who you are now. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one, stop debating their silence. Stop questioning their reasons. Use this as your signal to become. Because nothing is more magnetic than someone who refuses to stay the same." So write this in the comments right now. I reinvent myself. Let it be your vow, your commitment, your declaration. Show it to yourself, show it to the world around you, and let it remind you that their absence is not your end, it's your beginning. And stay with me, because next we'll step into something even deeper, how becoming emotionally untouchable makes you immune to their silence, their games, and their storms. Number 7. Emotional untouchability. He who angers you conquers you. These words, my friends, strike like lightning, because at the root of it all, every ignored message, every distant look, every cold silence. What truly hurts you isn't their action, but your reaction. The fear, the panic, the emotional storm that takes over your mind and convinces you that you're powerless. But here's the truth. You are never powerless unless you hand your power away. And the highest form of strength you can ever reach is this, becoming emotionally untouchable. Now, what does that mean? It means that no matter what they do, no matter how they act, they cannot shake your core. It means you've built such calm, such self-control, such unshakable presence that their silence doesn't define you. It only reveals them. Imagine being the mountain in the middle of a storm. The winds scream, the rain lashes down, lightning cracks across the sky. But the mountain doesn't flinch. The mountain doesn't move. That, my friends, is emotional untouchability. Most people think strength is about fighting back, about shouting louder, about proving your point. But real strength is quieter. Real strength is when you don't need to argue, when you don't need to beg, when you don't need to chase. Real strength is when you can sit in silence and let your calm speak louder than words. And let's talk psychology for a moment. People test boundaries. Consciously or not, they push to see how you'll respond. If your peace crumbles at the first sign of distance, you've shown them you can be controlled. But if you remain calm, steady, unmoved, you show them something far more powerful. You can't be manipulated. And the human mind can't ignore that kind of strength. It respects it. It's drawn to it. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but if I don't react, doesn't that mean I don't care? No, it means you care about yourself enough not to lose yourself. There's a difference between being indifferent and being untouchable. Indifference is apathy. It says nothing matters. Untouchability is mastery. It says everything matters, but nothing controls me. Let's break the lie right here. The lie that emotional outbursts prove love. They don't. Outbursts prove lack of discipline. Calm proves strength. Self-control proves respect. When you let your emotions run wild, you confirm their decision to pull away. But when you remain calm, you create doubt in their mind. Doubt about whether they ever really understood you. Doubt about whether they underestimated your strength. Doubt about whether losing you might be their biggest mistake. Think of a candle in the dark. If you panic, if you wave your hands wildly trying to protect it, you blow it out yourself. But if you sit still, steady, shielding it with calm, the flame survives, even through the draft. That's how your peace works. Protect it with calm, not chaos. Yes, this takes discipline. It takes training your mind every single day. It means breathing deep when your heart pounds. It means stepping back when your instincts scream to react. It means replacing, "Did I do something wrong?" with "I choose not to be moved." And every time you do it, every time you win that inner battle, you're becoming stronger, calmer, harder to shake. And here's the beauty. When you reach emotional untouchability, people feel it. They may not admit it, but they feel it. It unsettles them because they realize they don't control you. And nothing is more magnetic, more mysterious, more attractive than someone who cannot be broken by silence. So today, my friends, I want you to claim this power. Write it in the comments right now. I am untouchable. Show it to yourself. Show it to the world around you. Let everyone see that you are stepping into a new energy. And if this message hit you deep, if you're ready to stop chasing, stop breaking at every silence, and start rising into calm, unshakable strength, then do me a favor. Press that like button, hit subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because the world doesn't need more panic, it needs more mountains. It needs more men and women who stand tall, calm, and untouchable. And that starts with you.